Hello, konnichiwa, hola, and shalom to all of those who are listening. Welcome to the Geek Galaxy Podcast. On this podcast, we talk about games, movies, TV shows, books, music, and basically anything that you can geek out over. Today we're going to be talking about new RWBY merch, plus a new soundtrack, and the new RWBY poster that I got. Then we'll be talking about whether or not the Nintendo Switch is worth buying. And then the last topic is a surprise, and you guys are really going to love what I'm going to be discussing. It's really amazing. Let's start the episode off with some RWBY news. Recently, Rooster Teeth has added new merchandise to their online store, which is awesome. It makes me super excited. They added 4 RWBY wall scrolls. They look amazing. Each one represents a member from Team RWBY. So there's a RWBY wall scroll, a Weiss one, a Yang one, and a Blake one. And they look epic. They look so cool. Their images from Volume 4, they're amazing. There's also a new RWBY Yang No Excuses t-shirt. I really like the RWBY Yang No Excuses t-shirt because that is just a very funny joke from Rooster Teeth. If you haven't watched all of RWBY yet, then you'll understand why once you watch it all, if you decide to do that. There are also 4 new RWBY Chibi lanyards, which is cool. Lanyards are awesome. There are 2 RWBY Chibi pop sockets. One has ZWBY on it, and the other has RWBY. Pop sockets are basically those little circular things that you put on the back of your phone so it can stand up if you're watching a video on YouTube, which is handy and cool. If my phone didn't have a kickstand already, I would totally get one. There's also 4 new RWBY Season 4 vintage t-shirts. They looked pretty cool. They're not gonna lie, that they're pretty jammin'. Also, 2 RWBY Chibi keychains with ZWBY and RWBY again. They also released RWBY Volume 4 as a Blu-ray/DVD special edition combo pack thing, which is cool. And finally, just a lot more t-shirts that I didn't feel like talking about because they're just more t-shirts. So if you're interested in buying these things, go ahead and check out the Rooster Teeth online store and buy it. I will leave a link in the description so you can get your RWBY buying on. Speaking of new releases, Rooster Teeth has finally released the RWBY soundtrack for Volume 4. I'm so excited. After I finished watching RWBY, I was like, okay, the soundtrack for Volume 1 and 3 are already out. So I'm just waiting for Volume 4's soundtrack. And I waited, and I waited, and I waited, and it's finally here! Eventually it got to the point where I was just like, are they gonna ever release it? And now that it's here, and it's amazing from what I've listened to so far, it's great. If you want to listen to Volume 4's soundtrack, you can listen to it on Spotify, Google Play Music, iTunes, and Amazon Music Unlimited. I've been waiting forever for this album, and it's just great that they finally released it, so I'm really excited. Now, before we move on, I just want to tell the world some absolutely wonderful news. I bought a new RWBY poster from Walmart for only $5. Alright, for those of you who are thinking, it's only a poster, what's the big deal? If you've browsed on Rooster Teeth online store, then you know that a lot of the stuff is kind of pricey. And me being a not employed person, that doesn't work out for me. I can't buy everything that I want out of the store, even though I want to. I have browsed on that site, and it's just too much for me. So I've looked at some things that I really wanted in the Rooster Teeth store, and I've ended up having a conversation with myself that goes a little like this. Man, that sure does look nice. I think I'll buy... Oh my gosh, look at that price tag! Well, that's okay. You can still buy it. It's not that big of a deal, right? Totally. But That's not being frugal, self. I mean, I have to be smart with my money. Just buy it, man! No, I can't! Buy it! No! Buy it! Eventually, I end up convincing myself that it's not worth it, and I just move on. That is why a $5 poster at Walmart is a big deal. I knew that I'd never find a RWBY poster that cheap ever in life. A RWBY poster for $5 is like insane. That is, you'll never find that ever again, because RWBY posters on the online store are like way more than that. It was a good deal. That is the whole point of this. So since I knew that I'd never find a deal like this ever in life, I just bought it. I was like, yes, such a steal. So now an amazing Volume 2 poster is now hanging on my wall to my left, and I'm looking at it right now, and it is awesome, basking in its cheap but awesome glory. Alright, it's time to move on to the next topic, which is, here's a highly debated topic, whether or not the Nintendo Switch is worth buying. So, let's talk about the Switch. There was a lot of hype build-up for the Switch, and now that it's here, the question is it worth the buy? Let's check out the pros and cons of buying the Switch. Let's start with the pros. It's actually portable, unlike the Wii U. When the Wii U was being talked about, Nintendo was telling the world about this new console that they were going to release, the Wii U. They were giving everyone the idea that, oh, it's portable, you can take it everywhere. But a lot of people were disappointed because that's not actually what happened. I saw a comment on a YouTube video regarding the Nintendo Switch, and the person said, so, in my opinion, it seems that the Nintendo Switch is actually what the Wii U was supposed to be, which is actually true, in my opinion. This isn't my idea, but I'm agreeing with someone else's idea that the Switch is just what the Wii U was supposed to be. Next, the HD gameplay. HD gameplay is always good. Having good video quality on your console is very important, and that's just a typical pro that you kind of have to expect from big game companies like Nintendo, but still, it's a pro. Next, it has 3 modes, which I find cool. TV mode, tabletop mode, and handheld mode. TV mode, obviously, from the title, you play the Switch on your TV, just like any normal console. Tabletop mode is where you use the Switch as a tablet of sorts. You use the kickstand on the Switch, you sit it on a table, or whatever you want to sit it down on, and you play from the Switch console itself. Finally, handheld mode is where you have the Switch console in your hands, connect it to the Joy-Cons, and you play in your hand, hence the name handheld mode. I think this is really cool. It adds so much versatility to how we can play games, and they combine all these different gameplay styles into one console, which is amazing. Another reason why I think that this is an improvement of the Wii U, I mean, it's obvious. It's very much like the Wii U. It's obvious that Nintendo was taking the Switch and they said, okay, look, we kind of messed up with the Wii U. It was great. It was okay. Some people liked it. A lot of people liked it. A lot of people bought it. But it wasn't as successful as some of our other consoles. And it didn't really accomplish the goal that we said it would. So let's fix all of that and do that with the Switch. And that's what they did. Another thing, the Switch has built-in amiibo support, much like the new Nintendo 3DS XL, the new Nintendo 3DS, and the Wii U. So that's always a plus if you have amiibo. Also, in my opinion, the Nintendo Switch has a pretty good game lineup. Now, I have a friend, and he's told me, you know, the Switch is new and all, but it looks pretty cool. Not gonna lie, but I'm just not so sure about buying it because the game lineup just is trash. And every time he tells that to me, I'm like, what are you talking about, son? Like, the Nintendo Switch has an amazing lineup. And to prove that, I'm going to go through the list of things that I'm excited for about the Switch as far as games being released. 1-2 Switch. Okay, now, I know this is the game that it's like the Wii Play and the Wii Sports of the Nintendo Switch. You know, it's that game that comes with the Switch when you first buy it. It's the promotional game. And for some people, it's like, oh, it's 1-2 Switch. Oh, it's just Wii Sports. Wii Sports and Wii Play and Connected Ventures, like for the Xbox, Connected Ventures is the promotional game for the Xbox 360. That one game that you get, that you never play, but you have it only because it comes with the Xbox, with the game console. 1-2 Switch is like that. So that's usually like the game that you take to GameStop or whatever game retailer that you go to, and you trade it in because I don't play this. Please take it away from me. And they're like, we're sorry, we have 50 copies of those because no one wants them. 1-2 Switch is that kind of game as far as the purpose that it serves. But I think 1-2 Switch is amazing. The idea of it, the list of games that you can play, it looks really cool. It is amazing. Wii Sports was fun. I still play Wii Sports on my Wii because it's a fun thing to do. It's not like Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. It's not like a Metroid game, but it's a fun game to play with family, friends. 1-2 Switch is the same way, but I think that 1-2 Switch is even better. It's a fun game, and I think it's safe to say that 1-2 Switch is the best promotional game ever released, besides Breath of the Wild. But we're gonna get to that. Next, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Now, I felt iffy when I first heard about Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. When I saw the trailer from E3, in my mind, I was going, okay, so Nintendo is releasing the Switch, and they need games for their lineup. So what they're doing is they're recycling games. That's it. Now, I mean, I love Mario Kart 8. It's amazing. Nothing against the game. Nothing against Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I think that it's really cool still, and I'm glad that they're including it in their lineup of games, which is why it's in the pros section. But all I'm saying is, it's recycling the game, and all you get is extra content that you would have paid for via DLC on the Wii U. But, I mean, besides that, it's a great game, and I'm glad it's in the lineup. Next, ARMS. ARMS is amazing! It's so cool! It's awesome! The idea of it, okay, so you're a superhero, or you work at your ramen shop, or you're a nerdy girl who builds a freaking fighting robot, and you fight with your arms. I mean, yeah, of course, you fight with your arms. That's what everyone does. You punch, yeah. But you've got, like, crazy, customizable arms, different categories of arms, different subcategories of arms. You battle it out in an arena of awesomeness. Like, this is a great concept. It seems silly at first, but then, after you take the time to play it, watch gameplay, it's awesome. It's cool. I can't wait for this to show up in tournaments, ARMS tournaments everywhere. That's gonna be pretty amazing. Next, we have Splatoon 2, which releases on July the 21st. Now, a lot of people that I know that I've seen in comment sections, they've said Splatoon, it was okay, but I didn't really like it that much. Other people were saying, why is there a Splatoon 2? Why don't they just keep adding content to the Splatoon that's already out? Which I kind of agree with. That's the first thing I thought when I saw that Splatoon 2 was being released. And other people think that this is a wonderful idea, and they're excited for a new Splatoon game, which I'm partially on that side as well. Splatoon is awesome, it's fun, and it's great that they're releasing a sequel, although I don't understand why there's a sequel if you can just keep updating the already released Splatoon. I kind of don't understand the point of releasing a second Splatoon, but I'm all for the idea. Next, Super Mario Odyssey, which releases on October the 27th. This is huge. It's awesome. Super Mario Odyssey, when I saw it, I was like, so, a third Super Mario Galaxy, but different. This is awesome. Super Mario Galaxy is the first thing that comes to mind when I think of Super Mario Odyssey. And also Super Mario 64. It kind of reminds me of Super Mario 64. I think this is really cool that they're doing another game like that. I just think that it's really cool, and I'm excited. Next, me being a Zelda freak, this is the one that I was most excited about. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild! Yes! I have been waiting for a new game in the Zelda series for quite a while. Okay, sure. We had Ocarina of Time 3D for the 3DS. Then we waited forever for Majora's Mask 3D. Great. Amazing. The latest game that's canon was A Link Between Worlds. And then we waited. And waited. And waited. And the new game is finally here. I have not bought the game, but from watching gameplay, it's so cool. It's amazing. Now, like I said before in the last episode, Breath of the Wild kind of took a shift away from what Zelda is supposed to be. And at first I was kind of iffy about that because, okay, it's an open world Zelda game. That has never happened before. This is kind of weird. I was a little iffy about it, but I am willing to accept change. And since we've had about 15 Zelda games, not including CDI, which we do not talk about here, unless you want me to, and the Tingle games, which we definitely don't talk about, besides that, every single game has kind of been the same. Every 2D Zelda game has basically been the same as far as game mechanics. Every 3D Zelda game has basically been the same as far as game mechanics, minus Skyward Sword. They made an effort with Skyward Sword when they added motion controls, which some people love, some people hate. From what I've heard and from what I know, there are more people that hate it than actually like it, but there are more people that like it than you think. Back on topic though, Breath of the Wild, amazing. It's great, it's new, the graphics are wonderful, and I'm glad it's in the lineup. Next, Fire Emblem Warriors is coming out in fall of 2017. Now, I just want to say it right now. Fire Emblem is bae. It is amazing. I love Fire Emblem. It's wonderful. Granted, I've only been exposed to my first Fire Emblem game recently, and it's Fire Emblem Heroes for the smartphone, but I assure you, I will be buying Fire Emblem on my consoles because Fire Emblem is so wonderful. I love it, but that's a topic for another episode. Next, Ultra Street Fighter 2, The Final Challengers. I'm excited for this because I really like Street Fighter 2, even though I am horrible at it. And I like fighting games. Fighting games are cool. I can play Smash. I can do okay in Smash Brothers, but Street Fighter, I love it. I play it. I cannot do a single thing in it though. Like, anyone will beat me up in Street Fighter. A 6-year-old could beat me in Street Fighter. I just am not good at it, even though I love to and I would like to. Next, Sonic Forces, which releases during the holidays this year. And finally, Sonic Mania, which releases August 15th. I'm really excited about Sonic Mania because I'm glad that they used the graphic style that they used with the original games. I think that is very cool. So it's 16-bit and not in 3D, and I respect that decision by Sega. I think it's awesome that they're doing a whole Throwback Thursday on us. I think it's really cool that they're taking it back to the good old days, and I just think that's really cool. Alright, we've gone through all the pros. It was a lot. I kind of went on tangents, but that's okay. Now, the cons. All of these are probably going to be things that you've already thought to yourself, and if you don't have a Switch, then these are the reasons why you do not have a Switch, and we just think the same way. First con, it costs $299.99, and again, being an unemployed person, I can't really afford to do that. It's just expensive, and I never buy consoles when they first come out anyway, just to save money. So I end up waiting like 5 years after a console comes out before I buy it, because that's just frugality for you. But I mean, it's a good console. I would buy it regardless of the fact that it's $300, but still the fact remains that's kind of pricey for me. Next, the Pro Controller is also expensive. Seems like there's a trend here. The Pro Controller is like crazy expensive, and knowing myself, I probably don't want to play the Switch with the Joy-Cons forever. I definitely want to get a Pro Controller eventually, because I have 2 for the Wii, because I actually need it. But that's another episode. I need them to play games. But anyway, yeah, that's a completely different topic for a completely different episode. The Pro Controller is expensive. I'd want to get one because I wouldn't want to play with the Joy-Cons the whole time, and it would be a necessity, and it's expensive. Next, all the good games are $60. Again, that's expensive for me. I wouldn't go out and buy a game for $60 because, again, I would wait for the price to go down. I would also get it used because frugality. That's probably going to be a commonly used word here on this podcast. Frugality. All the games are just expensive. Although, I will say this. I would pay $60 to get Breath of the Wild without having a second thought, because you can do so much in that game. And like I said in the last episode, 100%ing the game is insane. And usually when I beat a game, I try to 100% it so that I can play it as much as I can and to the highest extent that I can. So then it won't be a waste when I sell it or trade it or stop playing it, because I would have used it and used it well, and my money would have been well spent. Definitely would get Breath of the Wild for $60 without question. It would take me hours and hours and days and months to be finished playing that game. Basically, the only problem I have with the Switch right now is the cost of everything, from games to the console to accessories. It's just priciness. But if you can get over that and that isn't a problem for you, definitely buy it, because as you could see from that long list of pros, it's still a great console, and I would buy it. But I'm not yet. Emphasis on yet. I'm hoping to buy it, just not yet. Finally, we've reached the surprise portion of the episode. I'm sure you've all heard that Nintendo is releasing a new console on September 29th of this year. Yes, Nintendo is releasing the Super Nintendo Entertainment System Classic Edition. I'm so excited for this. I'm hyped. This is amazing. This is like one of the best things that's ever happened to me. It's here. It's great. The NES Classic Edition was great, but this is incredible. And at this point, I'm expecting them to go, okay, we've released the Nintendo Entertainment System Classic Edition. We're about to release the SNES Classic Edition. Let's go on to the Nintendo 64 Classic Edition, the remodeled GameCube. I mean, they already did a remodeling of the Wii, in a sense, because of the Wii U. They did a remodeling of the Wii U when they made the Switch. I don't know, I'm just hoping for maybe a Nintendo 64 Classic Edition. That would be nice. The SNES Classic Edition will feature the following titles: Super Mario World, Super Mario World 2, aka Yoshi's Island, Super Mario Kart, The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, F-Zero, Super Metroid, Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Super Punch-Out, Super Castlevania 4, Donkey Kong Country, Mega Man X, not Mega Man 10, Mega Man X. There's a difference. Kirby Superstar, Final Fantasy 3, Kirby's Dream Course, Super Mario RPG, Legend of the Seven Stars, Contra 3, The Alien Wars, Secret of Mana, Earthbound, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, Star Fox, and Star Fox 2. Now, I'm excited for basically every single title that I just listed, which is different from the NES Classic Edition, because the NES Classic Edition, I was excited. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I have to buy one. Then I looked at the list of games that they were releasing on the console, and I realized I have a decent amount of these games already on Virtual Console for my Wii. But if you didn't know, my Wii, the sound doesn't work. So yeah, that's a problem. So I thought to myself, okay, if I buy the NES Classic Edition, I can play the games again with sound, which is, if you haven't been playing your favorite games with sound for the past like couple of years, 3 years, then it becomes more important that you have sound. You may be thinking to yourself, oh, you can't play with sound? Oh, boo-hoo, sad violin music. But, I mean, it would be nice to play with sound. The good thing is, I have a second Wii now, and the sound does work, and the good thing is, it is a model RVL-001. Now, I'm going to talk about in the next episode the differences between the different model Wiis and how I got tricked by Nintendo, because the RVL-001 is way better than all the other models, and I'll talk about that. That's going to be one of the main topics in the next episode, so be ready for that, because I have a lot to say about that. And just to be clear, I'm not salty. Okay, maybe I'm a little bit salty, but like it's really not a big deal that I got the wrong model. It's really fine. I may be acting like it's a big deal, but it's really not. But I'm still going to talk about it. As I said, I'm excited for almost every single title that I just listed. Like, every single one here, except for one, I am excited about getting. Every single one I've wanted to play, except for Super Ghouls and Ghosts. I've never even heard of that. I mean, I heard of Ghouls and Ghosts from the NES Classic Edition. I think I maybe have heard a cover of a song from the game on Pandora. But besides that, I mean, When I looked on the website saying that they were coming out with the SNES Classic Edition, they made a big deal about Star Fox 2, and I was like, why is that? And then I noticed right next to a Star Fox 2 picture that it had never been released before. And that made me think. I was thinking to myself, okay, is this a new game that is made in the style of the old Star Fox games like they are doing with Sonic Mania? Or is this actually like a long-lost game that never came out but was supposed to? And it turns out that Star Fox 2 is a completed game that was supposed to release in 1995. However, Nintendo canceled its release because the Nintendo 64 was coming out soon. Nintendo decided that they wanted to release a new Star Fox game on their new console instead of their old one, so they scrapped Star Fox 2, and instead of getting Star Fox 2, we got Star Fox 64. So you can thank Star Fox 2 for that. Again, I'm super hyped up for the majority of these games, but I'm even more hyped up for Star Fox 2 just because it's a game that was supposed to come out and it didn't. But it is now. The fact that it's never been played before by the public, it really makes me excited to play it. I can't wait for the SNES Classic Edition to come out, and I'm definitely going to buy it without a shadow of a doubt. It's going to be $80, and I don't care because I don't have many of these games, so it feels like a better deal than getting the NES Classic Edition because I have a lot of those. I have A Link to the Past, and Kirby Superstar, and I think that is it. Yup, so you're getting 21 titles for $80. That makes each one less than $4. That is better than buying all the stuff on Virtual Console. You're saving about $60 by getting this instead of getting them on Virtual Console. So I would say that this is a wonderful deal and you should take advantage of it before it's too late. That's it for today, guys. Hopefully you all enjoyed this episode. Please be sure to subscribe. That way you'll be notified when new episodes are uploaded. The music in this episode was composed by me, and it was made with beatbox.co. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to make some cool chiptune music. And if you do make something really cool, then share it with me. I have a Google Plus page, and yeah, you can post it and privately send it to me via Google Plus. I also have an email. It's Geek Galaxy Podcast at gmail.com. So if you have any chiptune music made on Beatbox that you want to send me, be sure to do that. You can send it to me through Google Plus or through Gmail. I will put both of those in the description as well if you want to send me some stuff. So yeah, check out Beatbox, and I'll see you in the next episode of the Geek Galaxy Podcast. God bless.